Hey Mark, great to see you, man. How's your morning been so far? You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
John, my friend, always a pleasure. Bright-eyed, maybe, but bushy-tailed? I think that's still a work in progress, honestly. It's been a morning, you know? Just trying to get all my ducks in a row. How about you? You seem unusually chipper.
Haha, unusually chipper might be the phrase of the day. You know what? It actually was a really good morning, like one of those rare mornings where everything just flowed. No major hiccups, no spilled coffee, no existential dread before 7 a.m. It felt like a small victory.
A small victory, I like that. I feel like my mornings are usually more of a battle. What was the secret today? Did you wake up to a choir of angels or something?
Not quite angels, but I actually woke up before my alarm, which for me is like hitting the jackpot. It just immediately put me in a better mood. So no frantic scrambling. I just kind of slowly got out of bed, did my usual stretching, made some coffee, and actually sat down to drink it without rushing. It was glorious.
Waking up before the alarm? That's a superpower, my friend. I hit snooze probably 5 times. My alarm is more of a suggestion than a command, if I'm being honest. Then it's a mad dash. Shower, get dressed, try to find matching socks, maybe grab a piece of toast if I'm lucky. It's usually a blur until I get to my first meeting.
See, that's what I'm trying to avoid. I used to be exactly like that, and I'd spend the first few hours of my workday feeling perpetually behind. It's like my brain needed a full hour to just catch up with my body after that kind of morning. So I've been really trying to be more intentional with my mornings, even if it means setting the alarm a bit earlier.
Yeah, I get that. I've heard all the advice, you know? Win the morning, win the day. But actually doing it? That's the tricky part. So, what does your ideal intentional morning look like when it actually happens?
Okay, so when I'm really on top of my game, it starts the night before. I try to lay out my clothes, pack my lunch, and make sure my coffee maker is prepped. That way, when I wake up, there's less decision-making. Then it's usually wake up around 6:30 a.m., drink a big glass of water. I've been adding a slice of lemon to it. Feels really refreshing. Then about 15-20 minutes of light stretching or yoga, just to get the blood flowing. After that, coffee, and I try to read for about 15 minutes instead of immediately jumping on my phone. Then breakfast, shower, and I'm out the door.
Wow, John, that sounds incredibly disciplined. Reading before checking your phone? That's a level of self-control I can only dream of. My phone is practically glued to my hand from the moment I open my eyes, checking emails, news headlines, social media. It's a bad habit, I know, but it feels like I'm already on before I even get out of bed.
Oh, believe me, it's a constant battle. Some days I lose. But I've noticed that on the days I manage to avoid the phone for that first hour, my mind feels clearer. I'm not immediately bombarded with information or other people's problems. It gives me a chance to just be for a bit before the world starts demanding my attention. It's a game changer for my stress levels, honestly.
I can totally see that. My morning usually starts with some kind of low-grade anxiety, just from seeing everything I should be doing or reading about. Maybe I should try the no-phone rule. It sounds terrifying, but potentially liberating.
It is. Start small, maybe just 10 minutes, then gradually increase it. What about your breakfast routine? Do you have a go-to, or is it whatever you can grab?
Breakfast is usually a grab-and-go situation. If I'm really on it, maybe some oatmeal I can microwave quickly. But most days it's a granola bar or a banana, or honestly, just another coffee. I know it's not ideal. I tell myself I'll have a proper meal later, but that rarely happens until lunch. My wife, on the other hand, she's like you. She wakes up, makes a full smoothie, adds all these superfoods, takes her time. I watch her and wonder how she does it.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for breakfast. It really fuels me up. I usually do Greek yogurt with some berries and granola, or scrambled eggs with a bit of avocado toast. Something substantial. If I skip it, I feel it by 10 a.m., you know? Like my brain just starts to short circuit.
I definitely get that mid-morning slump. I usually attribute it to lack of sleep, but it's probably the lack of actual food. How do you manage to fit in the exercise too? I mean, 15-20 minutes of stretching is great, but do you do anything more intense?
I try to. On days I'm not going to the gym in the evening, I'll sometimes swap the stretching for a quick 30-minute run or a bodyweight workout at home. But I've learned that consistency with something is better than aiming for a massive workout and then skipping it entirely. So if I only have time for stretching, that's what I do. It's about building the habit.
That's a really good point. I always feel like if I can't do an hour-long session, it's not even worth it. But then I end up doing nothing. So maybe just a 15-minute walk around the block before work could be my starting point. It's better than nothing, right?
Exactly. It's all about finding what works for you and then sticking with it, and not beating yourself up if you miss a day. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. My routine definitely isn't perfect every day. Some mornings I'm still hitting snooze, especially if I've had a late night.
Man, this is making me rethink my entire morning strategy. I feel like I'm leaving so much on the table by just rushing through everything. I wonder if it would actually make me more productive at work if I started my day a bit slower and more deliberately.
For me, it absolutely has. When I start my day feeling calm and prepared, I'm much more focused, I make better decisions, and I'm less reactive to minor crises. It's like I've already done something positive for myself, so I have more energy to tackle whatever comes my way.
I'm usually just reacting to the first email I see. That's a good distinction. So, you're saying a good morning routine is less about being a super early riser and more about being super intentional with those first few hours?
Precisely. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. if that's not sustainable for you. It's about carving out a bit of time for yourself before the demands of work and family kick in. Even if it's just 30 minutes of quiet time with a cup of tea without any distractions, that's a win.
I think I need to implement a no work emails before 8 a.m. rule for myself. That's a good place to start. It's so tempting to just glance and then suddenly you're sucked into a reply chain before you've even brushed your teeth.
Oh, absolutely. The email vortex is real, and it's hard to pull yourself out of it once you're in. Setting boundaries with technology in the morning is crucial. I even keep my phone charging in a different room sometimes, just to avoid the temptation to grab it first thing.
That's intense, John, but I can see the logic. It's like putting a physical barrier between you and your distractions. My phone is my alarm, so it's always right there. Maybe I need to get an old-school alarm clock. That would be a game changer, actually.
It definitely helps. It transforms your bedroom from a notification hub into a sanctuary. And honestly, it feels good to not have a screen glowing in your face right before you close your eyes at night, too. That's another benefit.
Yeah, I've heard that blue light thing messes with your sleep. So what about your commute? Does that factor into your morning routine at all? Like, do you listen to podcasts, news, music?
Definitely. My commute is about 30 minutes, and I use that time pretty consistently. I rotate between listening to a podcast, usually something educational or inspiring, or an audiobook, or just music if I need to clear my head. It's like a buffer between my home life and my work life. I try to avoid listening to the news on my commute, especially first thing, because sometimes it can be really heavy and set a negative tone for the day.
That's smart. I'm usually blasting some upbeat music, trying to get energized, or catching up on the news, which, like you said, can sometimes just make me feel more stressed out before I even start. Maybe I should switch to podcasts for that mental shift. Any recommendations?
Oh, loads. We can swap recommendations later. But yeah, the idea is to use that time to prepare your mind for the day ahead or to learn something new rather than just passively listening. It makes the commute feel less like a chore and more like an extension of your personal development time.
I like that. Personal development time. It really reframes it. So you're not just trying to kill time, you're actively using it. I usually just zone out, honestly. Traffic can be infuriating, so I'm often just trying to survive it.
And that's okay too. Some days you just need to zone out, but on the days you feel up to it, it can be really beneficial. I found that even 5 minutes of focused listening can make a difference. It's all about those small, consistent actions that add up over time.
I'm feeling inspired, John. Seriously. My mornings have been feeling a bit chaotic lately, and listening to your structured, intentional approach really highlights what I could be doing differently. Even just little things like the lemon water or delaying checking my phone.
Give it a try. It doesn't have to be perfect from day one. Just pick one thing you want to change and focus on that for a week or two. Once it becomes a habit, then you can add something else. Small steps, big impact. That's what I've found.
Small steps, big impact. I like that mantra. My first step is definitely going to be finding that old alarm clock in the attic. And maybe I'll try the lemon water after my triple espresso, of course. Can't go cold turkey on the coffee.
Haha, no, definitely don't do that. We don't want any Mark-related incidents before you've had your coffee. But seriously, it's amazing how much difference a few thoughtful changes can make. Your whole day just feels more managed, more calm.
I'm looking forward to experiencing that calm. My wife will probably be thrilled if I'm not a frantic mess every morning, too. Maybe I can even get myself to cook breakfast once in a while. Imagine that.
Hey, baby steps, right? But that's the beauty of it. It's all interconnected. A better morning often leads to a better day, which leads to a better mood and a better you. It's a positive feedback loop.
A positive feedback loop. I could definitely use more of those. Thanks for the chat, John. This was actually really helpful. More than I expected just talking about getting out of bed. I feel like I've got some actionable takeaways here.
Anytime, Mark. It's always good to share experiences. Maybe next time we chat, you'll be telling me about your perfectly orchestrated morning symphony. I'm holding you to it.
A symphony? Now you're setting the bar high. But I'll give it my best shot. Thanks again, John. Have a fantastic rest of your day, one that continues to be as unusually chipper as your morning.
You too, Mark. Looking forward to hearing about your morning transformation. Catch you later.